Hello and welcome to Across Louisiana. My name is Steve Sawyer, your host for the show today. We've got a great show lined up. We've got Connie Udo. Connie is the Executive Director for St. Paul's Senior Center. Serena Mohan. Serena is the Assistant Director of Education Outreach for the Preservation Resource Center. Stephanie Joseph. Stephanie is the Youth Volunteer Coordinator for the Audubon Zoo. Mandy Cambry, we're going to talk to Mandy about the Greater New Orleans Foundation and the Give NOLA Day that was so successful. And Kimberly Reese. Kimberly is a family representative for the Edgar Dookie Chase, Leah Chase Family Foundation. We've got a great show lined up today. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome to Across Louisiana. My name is Steve Sawyer, host of the show. We've got a great show lined up for you today. Our first guest is Miss Connie Udo. Connie is the Executive Director for the St. Paul Senior Center. Connie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Glad to have you here.
Thanks.
Let's talk a little bit about the St. Paul Senior Center, kind of the mission of your organization, some of your core programs that you have, and a little history of the organization.
Well, the background of the organization is we were St. Paul's Homecoming Center for 8 years, which was, you know, a Hurricane Katrina recovery center that was birthed out of Lakeview at St. Paul's Episcopal Church and School to help that community rebuild. And then we moved to Gentilly, 4 years ago. So last summer, kind of seeing the needs that were changing, the recovery was, dwindling down a bit. Volunteers were slowing down. We just started to really look at what were still the needs of the community. And many seniors came back to Gentilly, from the storm. And in many places, senior citizens didn't come back. But Gentilly was one of the areas that was a large population. And I think when they got back, they found themselves very isolated.
Yeah.
And the quality of life was not good for seniors in Gentilly. So 2 or 3 years ago, we started a few programs. Bingo for socialization, computer classes so they could stay in touch with their families who don't live here anymore. They requested a food commodity program, and we partnered with Catholic Charities for that. And those programs were so successful that we decided, well, let's build on what's success and let's evolve as a community outreach center now to the needs of the community. And so we decided to open up our base, which is a house in the Gentilly neighborhood at 1509 Fillmore Avenue, and convert it to a senior center. So we transitioned in January. It's been going incredibly well. I think we are definitely on the right track. We're meeting many needs of the community. And the program is a viable, good program. I think something we recognized just in that relationship of building our seniors' homes. And, our ministry was always about the whole life.
Right.
We're very organic in that we weren't just about getting the roof over the head. That was very important. But we were also about that mental and spiritual part of that life coming back together as well. And so seeing that need with the seniors, this idea is working. And I think what's unique about us is that I saw that seniors want to be purposeful and have a real meaning to their life still. So we created a program called Seniors for Purposeful Living. And they do things. We make sandwiches for Light Ministries for the homeless. We box food and send it to a aftercare program in the 9th Ward so kids can have dinner before they go home. We're baking cookies for a big event in June with St. Luke's Episcopal, 200 cookies they're baking. So
You're staying busy.
They're staying busy. And, and then we have fun things like line dancing and exercise class. We are definitely looking for volunteers who can teach a craft or an art class or any kind of class. They like to play cards. So it's a really good mix of fun, purposeful work, and they get a hot lunch every day. Now, we're open currently Mondays and Wednesdays. Because we're doing so well so quickly, we're going to add Thursday. So anybody who's looking for a place to go on a Thursday in Gentilly, welcome.
Connie, let me do this before we run out of time. Your website is stpaulseniorcenter.org. All information about The Senior Center can be found on that website, and how to become not a member, but to be a participant and so
Correct.
forth.
And People's Health is one of our sponsors, and because of that, we've been able to waive the fee, so it is free.
All right, Connie,
So-
thank you so much for being on the show. We
And
appreciate
can I
it.
give a phone number real quick?
We'll put that on the
Okay,
screen because
great.
we've really got to run, and
All right.
we'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. Very happy to have Miss Serena Mohan in the studio today. Serena is the Assistant Director of Education and Outreach for the Preservation Resource Center. Say that 3 times fast, if you will. Serena, thanks for being on the show. We greatly appreciate it. Give us a little information about the mission of the organization, kind of the background, and some of the core programs you guys are involved in.
The Preservation Resource Center was founded in 1974 to promote the preservation, revitalization, and restoration of New Orleans historic neighborhoods and architecture. So we're celebrating our 40th anniversary all year long. And what we essentially do is not just renovate buildings, which we do. We actually renovate blighted buildings, but we also assist people with figuring out how to do that themselves. We want people to be as invested in their city and their neighborhoods as possible and to love their architecture. And so we have an advocacy department that actually works on, making sure that our laws reflect that. We have an education department that educates people from school-age children through adult home buyers on, the level of investment they would need on that. We have the local chapter of Rebuilding Together New Orleans, which assists low-income, elderly, and disabled homeowners to renovate their houses. And we also have a magazine that comes out 9 times a year that focuses on all of these issues to make sure that people are aware of what's going on.
Wow. So if New Orleans is so much history. So if you were in a historic building and you had a question, and I only ask this because it's happened to me, if you had a question about what you can and can't do, could they come to your organization and discuss that?
We don't have any control over that type of thing. We're really just more of an informative organization. So the Historic District Landmarks Commission is really the go-to on what specifically you can and can't do. But we're always happy to be a resource to people. So if they have any questions about old buildings, want to know, what might be good to do with them, or how to go about the process of loving their buildings and renovating their buildings, we're always open for questioning.
So your website is prcno.org. All information about the organization can be found on the website. Let's talk a little bit about your Ladies in Red event that you have coming up on June the 13th.
Great. We have, it's one of our fundraisers for the year. It is a really fun gala. Not only does it raise funds for our African American Heritage Preservation Program and also our Heritage Education programs for kids, where we actually go into schools and teach the kids about architecture and build model historic houses with them. But the event actually also honors local jazz musicians and the institutions that support them for their contributions to our cultural legacy.
And I saw the list of some of the names that you're honoring. Is it okay to say some of the? I know that you're also going to have. Don't you have you've got a lot of food and cuisine that's prepared by a lot of famous New Orleanians as well.
Yeah, it's a really fun party, and we've been really lucky to have some phenomenal restaurants that come out and support us every year. The Praline Connection has been so generous. Palace Cafe gives us food every year. Lil Dizzy's Cafe on Esplanade is a big supporter of ours.
Now, is all that information found on the website?
It should all be on the website. All the information about the event is on the website. And of course, we can mention our honorees. That's the whole point of doing this, is that we really believe that these folks need to be praised at home, and that people around the world know who these people are. And we want to make sure they know that we love them here at home. So this year we're honoring Dave Bartholomew, Wendell Brunius, Ronnie Cole, the New Leviathan Oriental Foxtrot Jazz Orchestra. No, I got that wrong, but it's a long name. The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival and Foundation, and Don Vappy.
Serena, and again, all the information can be found on the website, prcno.org. Thank you so much for taking time to be on the show. We greatly appreciate it. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Across Louisiana. Great show lined up for you today, and we couldn't be more happier to have Stephanie Joseph. Stephanie is the Youth Volunteer Coordinator at the Audubon Zoo. Stephanie, thank you so much for being a part of the show. We were just having a wonderful conversation before we started here. Talk a little bit about the Youth Volunteer Program. I just found that fascinating.
So actually all three facilities have youth programs, the zoo, the aquarium, and the insectarium. And these are a wonderful opportunity if you have a son or daughter who's very interested in animals, maybe marine life or even insects. To get in there and get involved, really get a chance to learn a little bit more about being a keeper or what the other opportunities are for, careers in the future. And so we actually run two at the zoo. The junior keeper program is for 7th through 9th grade students, and we usually do interviews in March. So we'll mail out applications in January, do interviews in March, and those kids are going to actually train over the summertime. So that's the program that we're getting ready to start. We've got 30 kids coming up. It's going to be a really great summer.
Can you take more? Can you take more kids?
At this time, no. So right now we're capped out.
Okay.
But it is a great opportunity for those kids. And then we do have a program coming up, which is our Eco Leadership Program. And that is actually an after-school program that runs September through April. And we usually meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 4 to 6. And that's for 8th through 11th grade students. So we'll be mailing out applications next week for that program.
Now, when you mail out applications, I mean, do you know who you're mailing these to, or can kids sign up, or how?
They can. So if you go to the website, which is audubоninstitute.org.
We'll put that on the screen.
All right. You can actually go to the volunteers tab that's on the right-hand side, and you can see all our volunteer opportunities there. But if you go to the zoo, and then you'll see the eco program, you can request an application and we'll mail it out.
And do a lot of the kids, do they have interest in things that are, I mean, maybe not a career with the zoo, but I'm hoping they have interest in things that are going on at the zoo?
Oh, definitely. So most of the kids who come into the program really have a strong interest in animals and the environment. We have several kids who come in, and maybe after a couple of years, as they start to get a little older and start to kind of expand their interests, find that maybe they're not going to be a vet or a zookeeper, but they really enjoy the program, the responsibility that comes with it, and the opportunities.
Let's talk about your Ocean Fest real quick. It's going to be on May 31st.
That's right. So coming up on Saturday, May 31st, we'll have Ocean Fest at the Aquarium of the Americas, which is going to be a really great opportunity to get out, learn a little bit about sustainable seafood. They're going to have the Manatee Club is going to be out there, and they're going to have some great animal interactions, and a really great time because it's going to be World Oceans Day. Great time to learn a little bit more about our oceans and what we can do to take care of them.
And then you've got Zubilation, which is going to be on in June the 4th.
Right. So Zubilation is a members-only event. So this is a great opportunity. If you've been thinking about joining the zoo or the aquarium, come on, get your membership, because you get a membership to all three facilities, and you'll get invited to Zubilation on June 4th. And then we also have Celebration coming up in August. So get your membership now so you'll be ready for both events.
You've got a lot of celebrations.
That's right.
Again, the website is audubоninstitute.org. And I mean, everybody knows Audubon Institute. You guys just do such a phenomenal job. So when you say all three, it's the zoo, it's the aquarium,
And the butterfly garden and insectarium.
and the butterfly garden, and which I've been to and found it absolutely fascinating.
It really
now,
is.
The most important question of the day, has anybody ever volunteered and gone on to work at the zoo?
Yes.
I know you have.
I have. I was a volunteer. I was a junior keeper back in the mid-90s.
Well, and I stress that because kids that come out and volunteer, a lot of times you never know where things are going to end up. So somebody volunteering
Definitely.
today could be working at the zoo tomorrow.
You're right. And we actually do have several others who are at the zoo or the aquarium, even the insectarium, who once were volunteers in their teen years. So.
Well, Stephanie, thank you so much for being on the show today. Congratulations. It sounds like you guys are just doing a wonderful job with your summer programs. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. Again, thank you so much for being a part of the show today. Mandy Cambry is the Organizational Administrative Assistant for the Greater New Orleans Foundation. And Mandy, you were with us not too long ago as we were preparing for Give NOLA Day.
Yes.
And we were excited, things were getting ready to happen. So we wanted you to come back to talk about the program and what happened and some of the successes, because I've got to tell you, from everything I've read, it was a huge success.
It really was a huge success for us. We had a goal of raising $1 million. We raised almost $2.3 million. We had a goal of getting 5,000 donors. We had 19,000 plus.
That is incredible.
It was
That is
amazing.
incredible.
It's just a really great day of giving for
And
the
this,
New
this
Orleans
was the first
community.
annual, right?
It was.
Okay, for this
right.
area.
Right. It was part of the Give Local America Challenge, but it was the first fundraiser of its kind in the New Orleans area.
What do you attribute the success to?
I really think a lot of people just care about the region. They really wanted to give back. We have a great philanthropic community, and our nonprofits really galvanized the community. They went to work, they put the message out there, and they just did their job, and it really came back in spades.
Well, I got to tell you, we here at Cox, and again, the Greater New Orleans Foundation, you guys work and support our Cox charities, and I just can't thank you enough for the great job that you do. Millie and I had other Cox members across the country that knew about this and knew of things that were in New Orleans and wanted to give to organizations that were here in New Orleans.
Yeah.
They could be in San Diego, but they knew they had family in New Orleans and so forth.
Right.
I mean, this thing, I told Millie, I said, this is countrywide. I mean, this is incredible this day and what else taking place.
It really was. We had donors from 48 states and Washington, D.C. I mean, it was just really a nationwide giving event to the Greater New Orleans area. We had donations. Most of our donations were $100 or less. That was over $18,000 worth of gifts. One-third of them were $10, which was the minimum donation. So really, I mean, everyone could be a philanthropist.
Yeah.
This was really an opportunity for everyone to give back.
Well, and you know, it was so easy, and I mean that in a very positive way. It was so easy, and the thing that I found, because I gave, and I mean, you could give $10 to different organizations, and a lot of times that $10 even added up to more.
Exactly. I mean, with the Lanyat funds, we were really able to stretch every donation. We had $226,000 that we raised from those donors, so that helped a lot. And we tried to make it as easy as possible to give, and I think, you know, it clearly worked.
Well, I will tell you, we work with a lot of nonprofits, and I thought the thing that was really nice is a lot of nonprofits made it easy for you to do that, because I received a lot of emails from a lot of and it was good because it mentioned that here's what's happening today, here's why today is special, and I got to tell you, every one of them promoted, I mean, just give $10, and it'll add more later on down the road too, possibly, but just the whole process. My hat's off to you, because the whole process was just very simple to do.
Thank you. Yeah, and I mean, those nonprofits, as I said, they really did their job. Every single nonprofit received at least 4 donations, obviously many more, but we were just very proud of our nonprofits. This really helped them sort of get into the online fundraising world for many of them. It was a great opportunity to reach new donors, and so it just really paid off for a lot of them to be a part of this day.
So bottom line, you'll do it again?
Oh, absolutely. We are planning to do it at least for 5 more years.
Great.
We're working on getting the next date on the calendar, and if nonprofits are interested in signing up for next year, they can visit www.gnof.org and sign up for the newsletter to be informed of the next date.
Mandy, thank you so much for being on the show. Greatly appreciate the update. Congratulations. I mean, you doubled what your goal was and everything, so we look forward to having you back to talk about the next event that'll be coming up. Stay with us. We have one more guest. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. We could not have a better last guest than we have right now. Kimberly Reese is the family representative for the Edgar Dookie Jr. and Leah Chase Family Foundation, and everybody knows that, I mean, such a New Orleans family name. Thank you so much for taking time to be on the show. How is Miss Leah doing? Good, I hope?
She's doing well. She's doing well. I saw her this morning, and she was cooking away and fussing, so that's when we know she's doing excellent.
Cooking and fussing, that's how you know she's doing good.
Yeah.
Well, please give her our best.
I will.
She is a New Orleans monument.
Thank you.
And I mean that in a very positive way. So let's talk about a little bit about the organization and the mission of the organization, because I'm sure a lot of people really don't know what that is.
Right. And we are trying to grow the information base of our foundation. Well, we started it last year as part of the 90th birthday of Leah Chase. But we also wanted to acknowledge our grandfather, Edgar. And so what we really do is try to fund organizations that their mission is to assist with music, culinary arts, education, and social justice. Because those are things that are most dear to them. Back in the 60s, Dookie's was the place where blacks and whites could kind of mingle freely. And so we really want to pay homage to that. And we feel like we did that at Dookie's through the music. My grandfather is a musician. My grandmother is a chef. And just the social justice aspect, because people could come there and plan to make us a better city and a better country there.
Oh, what a testament to what still is today. I mean, I love going there because you can see anybody and everybody in the restaurant, and it's just so wonderful. And
Thank
the
you.
pictures of all the celebrities and presidents who have been there. You've got an event coming up on June the 14th, so
Right.
let's talk about that a little bit too.
Well, threading cultures through food and music. And this is, well, as I said, we kicked it off last year, so this is kind of a follow-up to the birthday party last year. All of the proceeds will go to different foundations in the city. We have a grant process that we go through every year.
People apply for the grants?
They did, and last year we were really shocked because we received a lot of requests. We were able to fund about 10. They varied from the Silverbacks, which is a group that mentor young African American males, to STARE, which is Start Their Ventures in Reading. And we also were able to do some music, the Musical Society, as well as the Uptown JS Orchestra. So we were able to fund about 10, and we were really happy with that. And so we're anticipating that we'll get more requests as we get the word out. So this is about raising money for the community. A lot of times we get requests for food donations, but we want to be able to give people monetary contributions so that they can not just ask us for food, but go out and buy books and do things for young people in the community.
I wonder why people would ask you for food.
I know, huh?
So your website is dookiechasefoundation.org.
That's right.
All information on the foundation, the event on June the 14th can be found there, as well as grant applications and so forth?
That's right. Everything about us can be found there. If you are looking for contributions, you want a donation, it's there. But we also have tickets and sponsors, because it's really the sponsors that help us to do good in the community. And so if you are looking to purchase tickets, anything like that, you can find on the website.
Kimberly, thank you so much for taking time to be here today. Please tell Miss Leah we said hello. Just a great way to end the show. Again, Steve Sawyer, your host across Louisiana. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. We'll see you next time.